So today will be a little bit of a different stream. As you may notice by the title, we're not going to play games today, right? As you may notice, we do sit in our new apartment. We have been here for 2 or 3 weeks now, but the story that I'm going to tell you starts before that. So, who am I beating up today? Well, the kitchen house. Some of you may have already heard of the story, well, of parts of the story, how they developed until now. It has gotten a lot worse. For the new people, I moved together with my almost said girlfriend. She's my wife now. We moved to a new place, so we have a new office now. It's not soundproof yet. We still need to figure out some stuff, but we got a new apartment. And some changes happened along the way. When we were looking at this apartment first, it had a great kitchen. And it was like, yeah, it's great. Just right before we decided to take the apartment, the person who lived here before us decided, you know what, I'll go take the kitchen with me. So then we are faced with either we search again for a new apartment, or we take this apartment and get a kitchen for ourselves. Now, the important thing is, I never bought a kitchen. I never bought a new kitchen, I never bought a used kitchen. I always just had the kitchen that was either in the apartment or in the house of my parents. So I never ever bought a new kitchen. And since I also don't have the money, as you could guess, to buy a new kitchen, we got a used kitchen. Since I never bought one, I don't know what is a good price. We got the used kitchen from someone who bought a new house, which had an old kitchen, and they didn't want that kitchen. They knew nothing about that kitchen, so they just randomly guessed a price. And since I don't have any experience with used kitchens, I was like, this seems fine. And it was quite near to our apartment, so I was like, sure. It's something that we can get quickly so that we can get started. And it's fine. We'll just take it and that's fine. I never dismantled a used kitchen and build it. I don't want to fuck up. So I'll go get some professionals. That's what I thought. So I called around at some kitchen houses. Most of them were like, yeah, this is too short of a time frame. We don't have any people to help you with that. Until I found one kitchen house that was like, yeah, it will be difficult, but we probably can get some men to help you with dismantling the kitchen and bringing it over and then building it up. I was like, that's great. It's great. It's like, it's perfect. We have professional people who build kitchen as a job. They know how to do this, right? We will have no issues. I guessed wrong. We go there, we pack up the kitchen, and the people dismantling realize, geez, it's a really, really old kitchen. There's some of the parts are not that great anymore, you know, maybe they will not survive the trip. I'm like, okay. It doesn't sound great, but they gave their best. And to be clear, the people that actually dismantled and then rearranged it were great at what they were doing. They were honest, telling me their doubts, and they were trying to come up with solutions. And they did a phenomenal job. They packed up everything nicely, they brought it over, everything survived. But then the shock. Since we wanted to get the kitchen soon, we got it without double checking the measurements. And we had a typo. It turned out that the kitchen, as we got it, did not fit in our kitchen. So then the guys were there and were like, yeah, this kitchen top does not fit. You'll have to get a new kitchen top. But hey, you know what's great? We're kitchen builders. We do have system for that. We can get you a new kitchen top. And it turned out in the end to be the correct choice to get a new kitchen top, because then we were able to get a much wider kitchen top so that we have more space to work with in that kitchen. I'm like, okay, this sounds great. Let's do that. Then we got everything figured out. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It will arrive in a week. That's great. So 1 week passes. I call them up. Like, hey, how about that kitchen top? It did not arrive yet. Okay. What do you mean? You said it would take a week. Yeah, we're having troubles with delivery. I'm like, okay, when will it arrive? On Monday. So this week, Monday. It's now Friday for the people that will watch this on YouTube. On Friday last week, we called them again and they told us, yeah, it will come on Monday. So then on Tuesday, we will be able to do all the cutouts for the stove and for the sink. And then on Tuesday evening or latest possible point on Wednesday, you'll get your kitchen. Okay. Sounds like a plan. So on Tuesday, I call them. And I want to be, hey, how about the countertop? They're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it arrived, but I'm not sure if the cutouts have been made. I have to check that, and I'll call you later. That was Tuesday morning. Tuesday, 4 hours later, around lunchtime, I call them again. I'm like, hey, how about the countertop? No one called me back yet. And I get a different person. They're like, yeah, I don't know anything about that. I first need to ask. I'll call you back. I'm like, okay, that sounds familiar, but it's okay. Tuesday evening, no one called so far. So I call them again. I'm like, hey, how about the countertop? Got the first person again. They're like, oh yeah, sorry. I didn't catch the person who's responsible for that yet. They're still in a meeting. The entire day, yeah. They were in a meeting the entire day, sure. So I'm like, okay, that sounds weird. So how about it? Did you ask them now? Yeah, sorry, they left for the day. I'll ask tomorrow morning. And then I'll call you back. So the next day, Wednesday, the latest date where they said they would get it done. I call them in the morning. I get a different person. They tell me they have no idea about it. They need to ask first. And they will call me back. I think you see where this is going. I called again 3 times on Wednesday. And I get no response. Every time I'm getting told, I have to check that first and I'll call you back. Fast forward to Thursday. Same thing happens again, and then I get told Friday morning, between 10 and 11, the people will arrive and they will build your kitchen. Okay, this took way longer. I'm already pissed, but at least we will get our kitchen. Also, one more thing. You know, there's the stove. It's an, I don't know what's the English word. It's an electric stove. And the oven, and it's like, it's got a lot of power, so it needs to be connected by an electrician. And we also already talked about that when the kitchen was dismantled. And they were like, yeah, we need to get a special guy for that because of insurance and stuff. We need to have a special guy to do this, but we'll get him. Every time that I talked with the person who was responsible for that, I mentioned again, remember, the stove needs to be connected, as well as the oven. So today is Friday. They said between 10 and 11. It's 10:30. No one's here. 10:40. No one's here. 10:50. I hear a bell. Great. Finally. Just before it's 11. I get the kitchen. Finally. No. It's a guy who's like, I'm supposed to help carry the countertop. I'm like, but where's the countertop? He's like, well, my colleagues are supposed to already be here. There are no colleagues yet. And he's like, okay, that's weird. Let me call them. So he calls them up. Like, no, we're still at a different place. Come back later in an hour. It's like, okay, sure. But at least we will get our kitchen, right? Right? 1 hour later, they arrive with a countertop. They get it up. It's a bit troublesome because of the stairway that we have. It's a bit narrow, but they get it up and it's fine. They continue working. They mount everything to all the correct cutouts. Recognize someone who was there to measure everything messed up, so they need to cut some stuff, make some adjustments, but they do what they can, and they're almost finished. And I'm like, so what about the stove and the oven? He's like, I'm not qualified for that. We have a special electrician, but I don't know when he will come. He was supposed to come with you. And he's like, I didn't hear about that. So he calls up his boss, and they're like, we never talked about that. We didn't know there was a stovetop. You were the guys who dismantled it. You guys should know what you dismantled and what you are planning to build up in our kitchen. And we also talked about that multiple times, that you shall not forget about the oven. And they're like, well, sorry, the electrician is busy. And he will be until next week. So what we end up now with is a kitchen that does not function. And this is where we are now. So I now went to a different kitchen house because I'm completely fed up with them and I don't trust them that we will get an electrician next week. So I asked a different kitchen house and they were like, after they heard that story, how are they still in business? I'm like, I cannot tell you that. But they're trying to get an electrician now ASAP to then mount everything. And yeah, they are also going to do the water connection, which the other one also didn't know how to do. And yeah, I'm just a little bit fed up, you know, because the plan was to have a kitchen in the mid of September. And then we figured out it does not fit. So then the plan was to get the kitchen the beginning of this week. And then the plan was that we would get the kitchen today, on Friday. And now the plan is that we will have the kitchen as soon as we can. It got more expensive than we were planning for. We also have to hire another kitchen house now because the other one is incompetent as something. Yeah, finances in this move were completely to trash. But hey, at least there will be a subathon next week. So maybe some of the expenses that we had for this kitchen will get handled by that. And that's why there was no earlier stream, because we were handling kitchen. But hey, at least the kitchen top does look nice. And it's built nicely. It looks fine. But it was just way too expensive in terms of money and time that was spent. And that's still being spent. But thanks for all the hugs in chat. No eating stream. I'm going to relax, watch some YouTube videos with my wife. I just wanted you guys to know what we've been dealing with. And also a reason why the subathon has been delayed so much. Because I am planning to do a kitchen stream in the subathon. And the kitchen has been what has been pushing back the subathon for so long now. Until then, have a great rest of your day and a nice weekend.